Hello everyone and welcome back to the YYC Designz Miss Voodoo project build part 3. She's a 1/8 scale crawler. Here we're testing out my new camera equipment that I told you all about here in other videos and just showing you the right front fender that I've cut out for Voodoo, and I'll begin shaping it here in a second. I do want to apologize though, I am just learning how to use this new camera. It's going to take me a video or two to get really good at it for y'all, but as you see, it allows me to work with both hands and I can show you more. So, on with the build. Now, all of our pieces are hand formed. I was going to say forged, wrong word. Hand formed. As you notice, there's a dolly under that. I'm an auto body repairman by trade. So the fenders, all the body panels, I make by hand right here in the shop. And I didn't use audio on the camera because it's not so great. Just adjusting the angle here so y'all can see better and I can get a little closer to the camera for you. And I'm not used to working with a camera over my shoulder, so it's going to take me a while to get really good at this for y'all. But anyway, this is how I form the curves and all the body lines and so on in all the panels. It's about I want to say it's going to be 18 to 20 gauge tin, so it's fairly light stuff. It's still tough to form because it's such a small piece. You got to get all your lines dead on straight and everything else, but that's how we build them here, and I'm really proud of making everything by hand right here in the shop. Yeah, as you notice, it's scrap metal. I think I mentioned that here further on, but at any rate, this is how it's done. So I'm not going to carry on too much longer with this. I just wanted you to be able to see that that's how we make them, and there's more to come in this video. All about small moves here. As you notice, I'm working each little section of the fender a little different. It's all about putting just the right curve or the right little kink in something so that you don't lose control of the whole thing. As you notice now, I've got the roundness of the fender starting. It's not perfect, it's a long way from it, but there's a lot more to come. So now I can start shaping a little more. I've got to get ready to put the body lines in it, and that's why I'm putting this curve into this part of the fender. I don't want to put a body line in and lose the curvature of this, because I don't know if you're aware, but on the F350, or well, on any vehicle, fenders aren't flat. They've got curves, they've got lines in them, they've got some beautiful design features, and I want to copy that as much as I can. So as you see, the curves in, now I can start thinking about the body lines. On the F350, there's a couple of very important body lines that form this fender. There's a long one that runs the length of the fender on top, and then there's the curvature that goes around the wheel opening molding and leaves a 6-inch flat section almost all the way around the entire wheel well. Now these are what I'm putting in here, and I'm using two different types of body hammers. As you see, there's the top line, and I've still got the curve of the fender. This will be the curve that attaches and where the hood fits in, and I've got the black line marked there around the wheel well. That is where the other curve will go, right along there. And you notice I've got it written flat is because from that line down right to the wheel opening molding is almost perfectly flat. As you see here in the fender, yes, there's a very slight curve to it, but your eye can barely detect it. So we'll just put a slight bit of curve in here. Not much. It'll basically remain a flat piece with the body line, and now this is going to give the fender a bunch of rigidity. So as you see here, I'm just trying to keep things lined up. I do switch hammers quite often because I'm using different techniques to get the body lines in. As I go along, I use between the vise 3 or 4 different dollies that I use to hammer on. I use a pick hammer, all kinds of anything that'll work that I can get the body lines in. Sometimes I even use a chisel on it. But you know, I'm not here to teach you how to do body work, but I thought maybe you all might be interested in how I form my panels and hoods and so on, and you'll sooner or later get to see it all come together as a complete project. This is just the right front fender. Now, it's going to take probably in the neck of the woods of about 4 to 6 hours to get it to completion to where I'm happy with it, and it'll be ready to bolt onto the truck. I'll make the left front fender, the hood, and we'll have what's known as the front clip. Then I'll have to weld the rad support onto the frame and that sort of thing. I make the fenders first because then I know how I want to shape my rad support and everything else, and we can bolt a bunch of stuff to that, like the grill, the accessories, all the fancy bits that y'all like to see that make these vehicles so realistic looking. So I put the body lines in to give the panel rigidity, and everything's where it needs to be, and then I go along and I finalize it, and we end up with a completed panel ready for a little bit of touch up to smooth out some rough spots, you know, a little bit of filler material, and then it'll be ready for priming, painting, bolt up. So I'll leave it go here for just a second. You'll see what I'm doing here a little bit better. I'm sorry the camera was so far away. Like I say, I'm getting used to it, but you can see I'm using a little gap in the vise just to form these lines and give it the little bit of a curve that I need to begin the final shaping. So through the magic of video and editing, now you can see that we have body lines in our fender. They're not perfect, they're not meant to be. It takes a long time to form these panels, but you see I have a definite top line and a definite wheel opening molding now. Now I have the curve in there. I have the top line along the edge, or along the top edge of the fender, nice and straight. The lip to be able to hold the hood in place when the hood comes down is in place, and it's all ready to go. So here's the new camera in action here, guys and gals. This is the new one. I've got it behind a piece of Lexan, obviously, so that we can protect it. But yeah, so there's the new rig, and obviously I'm still trying to learn how to use it some, because what I was trying to show you here on the right front fender of Miss Voodoo, 6 inches long, and trying to curve it now, right? So what I was trying to show you is how we do it in the auto body world. Dolly, okay, it's fits nice in your hand most of the time, but you can also mount it in the vise, right? I didn't do that here only because I didn't want to screw around and have to re-line up the camera and all that, trying to show you what I was doing. So anyway, this is where it starts and begins. Now, I left this little lip on because, of course, that's going to be where it attaches onto the frame and leaves it secure. The top will have another method, which you'll see in time. But anyway, so the reason we didn't get a lot out this week on the Miss Voodoo project was basically I ran out of time. The real Miss Voodoo's got some issues with her motor. I could dearly use a diesel mechanic right about now, because I have not got a clue why she has no power. But she's not throwing any codes. The scan gauge 2 numbers are all where they ought to be, but yet she's just got no power, man. So I've been wrenching on her a lot. It's been nice, but you know, it's still 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 centigrade. Not the greatest when you just have an open driveway to wrench in, you know. It does get cold after a while, just like you're in the shop, you know. You think it's a nice day, but we're in a steel building. So, got the fire going, got to keep going. Anyhow, ladies and gents, what I was trying to show you. Sorry, had to have a drag off the old smoke there. What I was trying to show you is we are progressing. I'm waiting for parts, mainly is why I've laid off the frame. For now, I'm waiting for the diffs to come in. I've ordered some diffs. You'll see them when they get here. They're all metal, no plastic in them. 9.5. They're axial Wraith diffs. So we're going to go with an axial drivetrain on her, I believe. Now, I might change some shit up. Might not be all solid axial, but I'm kind of leaning towards that. I really like the Wraith drivetrain and the diffs, all of that jazz. And there's a lot of nice accessories out to for the suspension, steering component upgrades and all of that. I can do a lot with it. So Miss Voodoo is 99.9% gonna be axial Wraith drivetrain, but upgraded stuff. I'm not gonna go with any of the plastic stuff. The motor, the tranny, the transfer case, all of that is gonna be all alloy metal, no plastic parts at all. So on my budget right now, that takes a little doing. So y'all are gonna have to be patient because we just don't have that kind of money, guys. You know, I live off my military pension. Tam can't work. She's got health issues, so money's tight. And, you know, we do apologize for not putting videos out a lot more often on things. But it's because I'm saving up my attaboy points with Tam. And she allows me to do a lot. She's a good lady, man. I wouldn't know what to do without her. I would be totally fucked. So trust me when I say Tams lets me away with just everything to keep things going. And so we gotta wait for parts. Anyhow, we can proceed though. So as you see, scrap metal. Yeah, it's I hope it focuses here for you a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's about a 16-18 gauge steel. It's pretty light stuff, yeah. I can actually, it was actually out of an old furnace that come out of the house. We had to change our furnace last year, and this is the steel that come out of her. There's some of the glue from the insulation that was on the back of it. So Miss Voodoo RC will be furnace parts and repurposed, and I do a lot of repurposing. That there, besides the boats, is my scrap metal pile beside the stove. So what I need, I kind of dig out of there and I scrounge it up in other places. The bench, everything you all see here was all scrounged up. My drill press went down, so I haven't had a drill press for a month, but I finally got a new motor there that come out of a Porter cable, so I've got a really good new motor in her. She's working wunderbars, so that allows me to continue on the Miss Voodoo stuff that needs to be drilled. I've bored you enough. On with it. So I'm going to continue banging away here and making fenders, and then we'll move on to the cab parts, and then of course onto the box. So we got a lot of body work in front of us, the hood, all that jazz. I'm probably not going to film it all because it is a very long process, but I will show you as I go along in other parts. But that's probably going to be about it for part 3, unless I can find something else I can tack on to the end that you guys would be interested in, and all of that. So if this is so long for now, thank you very much for watching. Please like and share the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We can use the support. And this is Twist from YYC Designz here in southern Alberta, Calgary, and until next time, it'll be part 4 of the Miss Voodoo project 1/8 scale crawler build. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.